been a lot of talk out there about the Major League Baseball All-Star Game and all of the fallout since Rob Manfred made the decision to pull it outside of Atlanta. Now, positive sign for the Braves, and you guys know this, my 10-year-old has become such a big Atlanta Braves fan that we watch every Atlanta Braves game every night in my house. Braves are 5-8. I know everybody has their favorite Major League Baseball team. Ronald Acuna Jr. right now the favorite to win the NL MVP. That's the positive. Negative for the Braves, they aren't very good, and the negative continues to be that they're not going to host the All-Star Game, even though they were trying to honor Hank Aaron. And the impact of Rob Manfred's decision to pull the All-Star Game is now out because there is a morning consult, a overall poll that they have done to gauge the reaction inside of Major League Baseball. And guys and girls, it is the worst reaction based on the immediate poll result of any commissioner decision in the 21st century. It's not just that Rob Manfred made a bad decision. It's that he made a disastrous one relative to virtually every decision that has been made in the 21st century by any commissioner. Now, let me explain how this thing works. They poll at Morning Consult Republicans and Democrats and independents to see what their overall favorability rating is of a variety of different brands. And sports historically has tended to be pretty evenly favorable between Democrats and Republicans because sports historically has not been very political. Whether you're a Democrat, whether you're a Republican, you're able to sit back and enjoy sports, and sports brings us together. As I like to say, if you're in a stadium or an arena and your team wins and you turn to high-five someone, you don't think about what the politics or the religion or the race or the sexuality or the ethnicity of the person sitting around you is, because you are united in one tribe. Whatever that sports tribe might be, you're all pulling in the same direction. And I think it's great for cities. I think it's great for states. I think we need places where we all come together and we don't have to get wrapped up in our identities, which are often used to divide us. So Major League Baseball had an overall favorability rating of 47 among Republicans. And it had an overall favorability rating of about 41 among Democrats. So pretty favorable. After the decision by Rob Manfred to pull the All-Star Game out of Atlanta, the favorability rating for Major League Baseball moved from plus 47, which meant that Republicans tended to really like Major League Baseball, all the way down to plus 12. One decision wiped out nearly 3/4 of the favorability feeling and rating that Republicans had for Major League Baseball. And as if that were not bad enough, Democrats didn't like Major League Baseball really anymore based on their decision to pull the All-Star Game than they did already before. Putting that into context, Major League Baseball and Rob Manfred managed to alienate a massive portion of their fan base, Republicans, and they didn't gain anything from Democrats in the process. This is exactly what I mean by get woke, go broke, as it pertains to sports. Because you are not gaining any fans by interjecting politics directly into sports like Major League Baseball did. And in the process, you are losing a ton of fans. This, to me, is a disastrous business decision, and it's just bad for overall sports fans everywhere. We have a large listenership of commissioners, of executives. This is the most influential sports talk show in the morning anywhere in the country by far, and also the biggest audience anywhere. So I want all of those guys out there and girls and executives and everybody out there listening to this right now to think about what I'm telling you. Rob Manfred could have made a good decision as it pertained to this controversy, to the extent that there is any real controversy in the first place, because actually this voting bill in Georgia was a manufactured story. It wasn't actually doing what was claimed to be done. There are likely to be more people voting in Georgia in 2022 and 2024 because of this bill. That's what virtually everybody is saying. This was a made-up hashtag activism. But all Rob Manfred had to say was this: I could have been Major League Commissioner for purposes of this decision and done an infinitely better job protecting the brand and the business. Here's what I would have said, and this is not written. This is just me speaking off the cuff if I were asked a question about this. We are going to keep the All-Star game in Atlanta because Atlanta is, to a large extent, a majority black city. Now, larger surrounding community also has a large black population. Atlanta has many minority businesses, and this game is forecast to provide around $100 million in economic benefit, much of which will go to minority businesses. So I understand there is an argument that we should move the All-Star game. I don't agree with it because I think that we are hurting many people who tend to be living in the Atlanta area, both white, black, Asian, Hispanic, many of whom are minority and minority-owned businesses. So as a result, what I have decided to do is keep the All-Star game in Atlanta because we are honoring Hank Aaron, who is one of the great stewards of this game, whose legacy of diversity, inclusion, and home run title is one of the greatest stories that exist in the history of Major League Baseball anywhere. And I want to make sure that we are honoring the hammer, which we would be doing, Hank Aaron, as loudly and proudly as we possibly could as a part of these All-Star festivities. But I understand that we live in a time when many people have many different opinions about political issues. So if you don't want to play in the All-Star game, if you are a player, if you don't want to manage in it because of the Georgia bill and what you believe, that is your right. We won't hold it against you. You can decide not to play. Same thing is true for any executives in Major League Baseball who don't want to come. But I believe the best thing we can do to demonstrate Major League Baseball's values is honor Hank Aaron, play the All-Star game here, and allow everyone in the city of Atlanta to benefit from the game. Boom. That's all he had to say. It would have been flawless. I just did it off the cuff, live on the radio, and the popularity of Major League Baseball would have stayed the same or maybe gone up a bit because that is a reasonable and eminently logical decision, the exact opposite of what Major League Baseball did.